the agentic. Why don't we do the levels up, the marketing insights? That's us.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Google unveils new tools for testing, measuring data. Google gives advertisers new ways to measure impact, activate first-party data, and optimize ROI across channels. Google is rolling out a suite of updates aimed at giving marketers sharper insights into what works and why, and across campaigns and platforms, as announced today. Easier incrementality testing. I know you're a big one on that. You can now test what truly drives value across all campaign types with lower spend thresholds and better testing models. Any insights? I'll just keep going through.
Yeah.
Smarter cross-channel insights. Google Analytics now offers improved measurement of full customer journey and ROI with deeper impression level data coming soon across Google and beyond. That'd be interesting. And new data management tools, centralized hub to make marketers gather, store, and activate first-party data from any source using privacy first tech, blah, blah, blah. And why it matters. As marketing grows more complex, which Google's not making it, like they're trying to oversimplify everything, and privacy standards tighten, brands need smarter privacy-safe tools to understand performance and optimize growth. Google's latest upgrades aim to deliver just that. Okay. What do you reckon, mate?
There was a lot of vague language in here, so I'm trying to just get my head wrapped around, okay, so what is this in a box here? So we've got easier incrementality testing, now test what's truly driving value, and what is this showing here? So we would see campaign type. Be nice if we could like pause it, incremental ROAS. Is there an actual documentation page that it links to?
No, never.
That's one complaint I have, search engine land. I know you guys are busy, you're cranking out a lot of content, but it would be really nice to like link to whatever the actual documentation stuff is, make it a more user-friendly experience. And I don't want people to leave the site, but that would be nice for experts that are reading this content. Because I'd love to see more granularly, what are we talking about in terms of incrementality testing? For every dollar, geez, yeah, it goes too quickly.
I'll get a screenshot and put it up, mate.
But I guess just generally speaking, I again, to your point, I really love, we have to be looking at incrementality. I think it's so incredibly underrated, which is shocking when you know more about that. Is something actually adding value to the pipeline? Or is what we did, is this event, that promotion, that new campaign, that major sweep of negative keywords, is that actually causing an increase in efficiency or an increase in volume, or vice versa? And can we say statistically that yes, that event is most likely to have been causing that shift, whether that's a level change or whether that's a trend change? Or so is it a level change, or is it something that was just an immediate impact? I don't know if it's going to get that granular. These kind of look vague. And I think wrapping incrementality, the concept around incrementality for the sort of common denominator advertiser that's using the UI for these types of insights, they're going to have to dumb it down a lot. So I based on just what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's going to be pretty vague, but I do like that it's giving us some insight into these types of campaigns. At least, again, from what I can see, these types of campaigns are driving incremental growth. My caution would be, we don't exactly know the settings around these types of incrementality analyses. Usually that's something you're doing in code yourself, and you're able to tweak the settings. You're able to see all the inputs and outputs. We obviously don't get that here. So I'm a little bit concerned as to whether these are going to be overly optimistic insights that just are trying to encourage you to spend more, or to, use that new shiny AI, AI Max campaign. Anyway, that random thoughts that come to mind as I'm looking at it.
I have a feeling, mate, that it's probably going to be a tool to recommend higher spend, and a tool to recommend new campaign types, and a tool to recommend broader, more exploratory advertising.
That's the word of the
That's
decade.
the new word. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to add any more to that. I reckon let's try and pump out one more, mate. Okay, we looked at that one. AI content. Do you reckon chat about that? Or I think there was another one.
AI content wise, is it just the messaging like or the messenger thing where it's kind of a chat bot inside of Google Ads, or is it additional? Oh no, it's the whole creative stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Upgrade its creative suite with cinematic AI tools, image to video transformation. Okay, that'll be fun to. So it's fun to do that stuff, but it's also kind of it can be funny because of how bad it is. You have these like
Yeah.
these like 6 or 7 fingered humans, and you don't realize it until you already put the ad out there. So I don't know how great that's going to be to use for a lot of brands, but they have already had versions of this already in the
Yeah.
platform. So I'm wondering how much different it is than what we've already seen. I do love some of the potential around this type of AI generated content is especially for smaller advertisers with not a lot of resources in
Yeah.
house and don't have the budgets to hire agencies for creatives. It is great for stuff like that because they could just crank out when the audiences when it feels like there's a saturation that's happened. They can keep putting out new stuff without having to hire agencies. I know that might be controversial for agencies, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, you got to keep moving. And with creative stuff, it is nice to have a tool like this that, yeah, it's not perfect, but 80/20, does it get a fresh new image out there? Yes. Well, then I do like that for smaller businesses that
Yeah.
don't have the resources.
I agree. I actually agree. I think this could be good. The things that come up to my mind are number one, I actually think it's good in terms of your merchant center because then if the products can look a bit more fresh and more vibrant, you'll get more clicks. Obviously, that serves Google on a cost per click basis and a CTR basis for shopping. In terms of like the YouTube shorts and like their video placements, which for a lot of e-commerce businesses don't serve them well, it's a good way for Google to now have more inventory, which means they can push more cost per views, like you get more money out of it. God forbid. Who would have thought this always comes back to Google making more money? The thing that I actually have caution about is it only exclusive to Google or can you actually download this content and then upload it to your landing page? Because if you've got all these beautiful images for a product of like some headphones and they look great and like on the reels and stuff, and then it just goes to a page and like you've just got like the original image because like it hasn't been AI'd yet, is there ability to download this content and upload it to your website or other social channels? Like, can you download these videos and then put them onto Facebook?
Who owns it?
Because this stuff is really
Yeah.
important for Facebook or Meta ads.
Mm-hmm.
Google less so, but this serves Google to sell more placements and get higher CTRs. But then if the person goes to the website, they've seen this radiant, beautiful video and stuff. If it does turn out that way and they go to the landing page and, once again, the advertiser hasn't had much money for production, it's like, are they just got the original image, which is maybe dimly lit, no good background. It kind of has a big disconnect there. That's the only thing that comes up for me.
Also around, that's a good question. Who owns this? Like, can you get it and then use it somewhere else, or
Yeah.
does that break some kind of legality that is apparent? Not sure. I'm also wondering about policies. Is it? I'm sure again Google and their legal team is going to say, hey, look, if our AI generated stuff cranks out something that breaks our own ad serving policies, that's on you. You approve these things, but
Yeah.
I'm wondering about that. Like if it breaks a policy, let's say you're in the health and wellness services industry and
Mm.
it cranks out something and you're like, okay, Google created it, looks good to me, publish, and it
Yeah.
goes against Google's ad policies. Can you then go, well, wait, you guys created it. They're going to go, no, it's right in there, terms of use. You have to approve these things, which means you're responsible for saying, nah, this is going to go against policies. I'm not really sure if that's covered here. That's another. I know we have more questions than answers, guys,
That's
but this is
actually a
very neat.
very interesting insight because I've got a client now that when they started with us, they were doing about 80K a month. And then within 1 month, I got them up to 250. And okay, like 10x rise, amazing results, but their feed's been down for 3 months now because one of their products, they were reselling Duracell batteries
Hmm.
and there was an automatic copyright infringement for reselling, and now their feed hasn't come back live, and Google hasn't done anything about it for like 3 months. So these are the things that happen if you've got the same thing with AI content for your merchant center. Your feed can go down, and trust me, Google is not helpful with that stuff. So things to consider, things to be aware of.
Yes. All right.
Cool.